Hello, I'm here to speak about a situation that happened to me recently, and I've been having mixed feelings about this, and I've been thinking about it more than I would want to. I can't get it out of my head, so I'm just gonna make a video about it. I live in New York City, and I used to go to Crunch Gym, and something happened there. And I'm gonna tell the story, and then I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking and everything that's been on my mind, because it's not okay. First of all, I was one day at Crunch, and someone from the reception, a guy, started talking to me in Spanish. Spanish is my first language, is my native language, and I don't know how they knew that. I just entered the gym and they started speaking to me in Spanish. After thinking about that, when you enter to Crunch and you signed up for a class, you need to sign a paper that has your name on it. So after thinking about that, I realized that the reason why the front desk person knew to speak in Spanish to me was because they were looking at the sheet and they saw me when I signed that sheet, and they saw my name, and my name is very obviously in Spanish. So they were like, oh, spying. They saw what I signed, and then they started speaking to me in Spanish. I thought about this, and the first time that guy spoke to me, he was like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was weird, but I didn't think too much about it. So I came back home, I talked to my husband about it, and I told him that same day, I think it's weird that the guy right away spoke to me in Spanish because I was just like passing by. I think maybe he was spying when I signed on my name that I was there to take the class. But yeah, weird, whatever. I just told him that happened. And even though I thought that was weird and he thought that was weird, we just left it at that. It was like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, I'm here from the future to tell myself that was a mistake, and also to tell you that you need to trust your instincts, because that was the beginning of him harassing me at the gym. So someone spying on where you sign your name, someone just like starting a random conversation before asking you, hey, do you speak Spanish, or are you comfortable with me, whatever, that is already a red flag, and I wish I trusted my intuition since the beginning, since this happened. Well, after that, I kept going to my gym in the mornings, in the evenings, whatever, just following my usual routine, and he started speaking to me more. Sometimes he would be super enthusiastic and being like, hello, how are you? And to me, I just thought like, he's being friendly. I didn't think too much about it. Also, Latinos were more friendly. That's a thing that I think it's awesome. I like meeting people from Latin America, Mexico, and I feel like we connect quicker because we don't have like that politeness barrier. We just like go for it. And whatever. So I didn't think too much about it. I was like, he's just being Latino and he's like effusive and loud and wants to be like, hey, you arrived. And it didn't make me feel super comfortable, because it was like, with any other person at the reception when he wasn't there, I would just go in and be polite and be like, hey, how are you? Thank you, sign up, go to my class, and then leave the gym and then say bye, and that's it. I always say hi, I always say bye, but that's it. I don't engage too much. And also people at the front desk, they don't want to engage too much. Like they're working, so it's fine to say hey, but other than that, I didn't have anyone else trying to like be so intense with me. This guy was always intense with me, in a way that even me as a Latina, he made me be like, is this a little bit too much? Is he a little bit too like excited and like almost shouting when he sees me every time I go into the gym? Maybe. And I remember that was in the back of my head for many weeks, but it wasn't bothering me enough for me to do something. And then again, I wish I trusted my intuition. I was already thinking whenever I would have to go to the gym, or I wanted to go to the gym to take my classes, I was already thinking, I hope he's not there at the front desk because I really don't want to engage. I don't want to talk to him. Maybe this is besides the point, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm married, and I thought about like being like, hey, I'm married. I don't know if he was flirting with me or what was going on at that point, but I'm always like, I don't think it's necessary. Like, I'm just going to the gym and he's just a guy at the front desk, and obviously I'm not interested in engaging a lot with him, just like saying bye and hi and yeah, how are you, whatever. So I never thought about saying, oh, by the way, I'm married. But I don't know, maybe that I didn't like say stop right away. Maybe that gave him confidence to keep upping his interactions with me. But it got to a point where he felt super comfortable talking to me in that very intense way that I was already not comfortable with. And I think what started making me feel like, okay, like now I'm actually anxious about every time that I go to the gym that this guy is gonna be there was when I arrived one day and he started saying to me like, whoa, I'm so happy that you're here. You just made my day. This is awesome. Thank you for coming, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind was like, no, like this is too much because I've never, maybe if we were friends, I would have been like, this is normal. But we were not friends. I really tried hard to not engage and just be like, hi, bye, that's it. He always wanted to speak more. I was always like, oh, my class is starting, I need to go. So no, absolutely, we were not friends, but I think he already felt with enough confidence to be intense. So to me, it was really uncomfortable. He did that for a couple of weeks, like 2-3 weeks, that I would arrive to the gym and he would be super intense about like how I made his day and I just arrived and I was just like, honestly, like nervously laughing, like, you know, like obviously uncomfortable, obviously didn't want to be there. It was getting to a point where I was like, maybe I'll just skip my morning class because I don't want to see this guy that I don't know what he's going to say to me. But again, it didn't bother me enough for me to do something. And then lastly, the straw that broke the camel's back was one day I was leaving the gym and I was just like, okay, bye. Like when I just quickly walked past by the front desk and he was like, oh, you're leaving. Oh my gosh. Okay, bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And he started blowing me kisses. That made me feel so uncomfortable. And already I've been thinking like, this guy is weird and this guy is too intense when I've given him absolutely no indication that he can or it's okay to be intense, and it's already making me feel uncomfortable. That really, really, really did it for me. I felt how the blood went to my heart. And I was like, okay, now I have to confront him, which is what I've been trying to do, like not confront him. Like I wanted to avoid any confrontation. I thought it was fine if I just was like, hi, bye, that's it. But him blowing kisses at me at the gym was definitely not okay. And it made me feel like, okay, now you're harassing me because there's no reason why someone at the front desk at the gym should be blowing kisses at you and saying how much you made your day and they're sad that now you're leaving the gym. It's like, also looking back, I wish I said, what the fuck are you doing? The second he started blowing me kisses, I wish I said, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck is this? Just to make him feel out of place and just to really, really make an emphasis on how weird that is. But I honestly, like, it took me like by surprise. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Blowing me kisses. So the only thing I said, I looked at him and I tried to be as serious as I could with my look, with my face, with my attitude. And I told him, don't blow kisses at me. And guys, this is honestly what, like the worst part for me. His response was, why? I told him, don't blow kisses at me. And he replied, why? And honestly, I'm like, if I need to explain to you why what you're doing is wrong, then we do have a problem. Also, looking back, I wish I replied like in a more like direct way. The only thing I could think of when he asked why was because I don't like it. And that's what I said. He asked why. I got super angry and I said, because I don't like it. And then he was like, oh, okay, but don't get angry, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it honestly, it makes me so mad. And it makes me so angry and also sad. And also it's confusing because in the moment I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, what to reply. Like, we all deserve to go to a gym where we're safe and we don't have guys blowing kisses at us. That is something that's unwanted, that we never asked for, that we never. And well, I walked back home like immediately after I said, because I don't like this, and he said something like, whatever, like, don't get angry. I left. I came back home. I thought about it and I was like, this is really not okay. And this guy is really, really already feeling super comfortable with me, and I can't let this escalate, because it had been escalating from the first time he said hi to me. The first time he was like more chill, but he was increasing his intensity with me, and those things escalate. And I didn't want it to let this escalate any further. That was enough. And I thought, well, I'm gonna file a complaint at Crunch Gym. And well, first of all, they make it super, super, super difficult to file a claim. I couldn't find anywhere like who I should reach out for. They have like FAQs that like, of course, they're never gonna put like harassment in their FAQs. And it took me a while to figure out what I could do. I found the manager's email. I emailed him. He was out of office. So I got this email of like, oh, yeah, I'm out of office. I went in person to the branch and there was no one there except this guy. So I was like, who the fuck am I gonna complain to? This guy? So I didn't know what to do, and I felt horrible, and it sucks that I felt like that because of something that a guy that shouldn't be harassing women did. I was also thinking how vulnerable that makes me feel, and I know it's a general sentiment. It makes us women feel like, like unsafe. It makes us feel, it messes with our self-esteem. It messes with our sense of security. It messes with a bunch of just basic human things that we shouldn't have to be worried about, but it does. Finally, the manager came back from his time off, and he replied to me saying like, oh, thank you. We also have to thank you for explaining the situation. We always want to make sure that our employees are safe. So I'm going to take a look into this and I will let you know what the result is, which I understand that they need to look into the matter and make sure that the claim is legit. I completely understand that. Sometimes people want to like just affect people just because. So I'm fine with that, but he didn't say anything about wanting to speak to me in person, wanting to like investigate more, ask me details about it. And I told him, that's fine. Thank you for saying you're gonna look into it. Could you let me know what's the timeline? Because I don't feel safe going back to the gym if this could happen again, because I don't know what the guy's gonna say to me this next time that I go there. And even though I explained also on the email that I was feeling anxious about going, even before the incident, but especially with this incident. And I feel like they were very dismissive. They answered and they said, we took necessary measures, but if this happens again, please let us know. And in my mind was like, I'm already speaking up. Why even allow space for that to happen again? I already spoke up, and it's hard enough to speak up and to find who's the right manager to talk to about this and to be heard. And then someone was on vacation. It's hard enough to speak up. And I even doubted myself, like, should I be complaining about this? Because like nothing really happened to me, I'm okay. And then I was like, no, I shouldn't be thinking like that, because that made me uncomfortable, it made me unsafe, and it messed with the confidence I have about going to a gym, to a class that I'm supposed to be safe doing. So I was like, no, I shouldn't feel like that, and I should speak up. And I just replied to the email that they looked into it. I said that I felt that the email was very vague, and that they weren't giving me the enough security that wouldn't happen again, and that I preferred to cancel my membership. And they said, sure, we'll cancel your membership. And I have the email of them being like, yeah, no worries, it's bad that this happened, but remember that at Crunch Gym we have XXX locations in Manhattan, and we also have this premium location where you could go to if you don't cancel, because we have massages, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what the fuck? What are you even doing right now? My complaint was never about the facilities or about the club or about the locations. This is a harassment complaint. And I felt like they were totally dismissive. They were totally vague. And they didn't really help me. And it honestly made me feel alone, even though I raised my voice and I have the support of my friends and my husband. But it made me feel like, what if something else happened? I would probably feel the same way, because the channels to raise your voice are the same. So I really feel it in my gut right now. And even though some days have passed already, I still feel like this is not okay. And I just wanted to take some time to make this video, put it out there, and just to tell you, if you're someone that has suffered harassment in your life, to speak up, because it's difficult. But at least if someone else, hopefully not, but if someone else goes through what I went through with this exact same guy at Crunch Gym from the reception, then they have this this complaint that is a historic, that explains that this has happened before, and maybe probably they'll take different measures. But I still feel, I'm happy I raised my voice, I'm happy I complained, because this is not okay. And yeah, just to say to you that I hope you're safe, and if you feel like it's safe for you to do so, raise your voice and talk to people. Don't keep it to yourself, because by keeping it to ourselves, we're helping the people that are comfortable harassing other people, and we need to end this. Okay, talk soon, maybe. Thank you.